and welcome to our daily devotions for the week of July 13th through the 17th. As we move through this week, we'll be looking at Old Testament verses about mending relationships. My name is Tim Kennedy. I'm the Director of Music and Worship Arts at AUMC, and I am happy to be the one guiding us through this week of devotions. The covenant that God makes with Abraham and his descendants is unlike any ancient covenant. Rather than it being a legal contract between two entities, the holy covenant of God's love and grace is grounded in relationship. The relationship that God makes, seeks, and restores with us, even when we make every effort to break it. The Old Testament is full of stories that remind us of a familiar cycle. God makes a covenant with us. We break the covenant with God, and God forgives and restores the covenant. Listen for that as you hear and read the passages this week. Ours is a God of mending relationships. As we move into this week seeking new light from old lamps, what are the relationships in your life and world that need mending? To what effort does God go to mend broken covenants and relationships? Let's begin with our reading for Monday, July 13th. We are going to read Genesis chapter 6 through chapter 9, verse 17. I will give you a moment to turn to those pages and read through that text. You can pause the video anytime you want so that you can read the text and then come back for the reflection. The story of Noah and the flood is so familiar to so many of us that it might be helpful to reread it and let some insight pop up. Many ancient religions have a story of creation, beginning, ending, beginning again. Many with a flood as the instrument by which it happens. Why do you think it was important to include this beginning story in the very first pages of Genesis? What does this ancient story teach us about God's intention for creation and for all peoples? Here is our thought for the day. Where do you see signs of God's covenant of being chosen, loved, and forgiven? What markers in creation assure you that God will never break a covenant with us, even when we break with God?